Making this one change in your coaching business will 2x your profit immediately. I've built over 1,000 custom marketing and sales systems for online coaches and consultants. And this is the number one thing that you need to change right now in your coaching business if you want to double your profit overnight. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can download our 30-page step-by-step playbook that we give to all of our clients who actually install this system that I'm about to go over on the iPad right here. So let's dive into this. Now, I want to first start by going over what most coaches and consultants do once they actually start having some success and start getting some traction with their coaching business. And for context, almost every single coach that we work with is usually doing this completely wrong. Now, tell me if this sounds familiar. You're probably someone who has been very successful in what they do, right? You've had a successful business, you're an expert in your industry, and you have a very good track record of success. You've probably built a very big following on social media as well. And all the coaching clients that you actually get are probably people who come to you from your organic content asking you for help. And even though you're making good money from your coaching business and you feel like you have some traction, your problem is that what you're doing right now isn't scalable at all. And you probably aren't even solving the biggest problem that your current market has right now. This is usually what happens with most coaches. Now let's look at the common pitfalls and issues that someone just like yourself in the same situation that I just mapped out right here is actually going through, okay? I'm willing to bet that you are only working with your clients on a one-to-one basis, right? On one-to-one coaching, which means that your time is pretty maxed out because you're only able to work with those people on a one-on-one basis. You probably are lacking systems that actually are required for growth. Meaning you don't really have a way to manage your leads. You probably could be making way more money. And I'm sure you feel like you are leaving money on the table because you don't really have an actual sales system and a marketing system around this that's going to produce consistent results. And lastly, you are probably feeling the strain of solo coaching. And I'm sure scaling this might not even seem possible, right? Because you probably don't know of a different type of, model to do this or a different or better way to actually scale an online coaching business. Now, like I said, this is the common position that most online coaches are in. So I want to show you what the shift is that you need to make, right? We call this the $1 million shift. Okay, number one, and this is the most important. You really need to understand who your ideal client is, okay? Who your ideal client is. Who are they? What are their pains? What are their goals? And what is the situation that they're in right now? And what's the situation that they want to get to, right? What's the problem they're trying to solve, okay? Now, when you start thinking about this, and if you're already working with a lot of clients right now and you're coaching them and you have one-on-one clients, think about what all the commonalities are with them, right? What are the industries they're in? What's their main challenge in their business? What are all their goals? And now you can really start to come up with who this ideal client profile is. Now, what we have to do is figure out, based on your skills, your expertise, your track record of success with clients that you've already been working with, how can we package that into what we call a core offer, right? And really make this a productized service. And this right here, the core offer is the one thing that your business has to be optimized for. All your marketing efforts, your sales efforts, everything you're doing content-wise, all your advertising, your sales processes, your funnels, all has to be with your core offer in mind as the goal that you're trying to sell, right? So you might have low-ticket products, a small community, a free community, a paid community. You might have really expensive one-on-one coaching that you're already doing right now. But the goal is that your core offer is what your marketing is optimized for. And by being optimized for this is what will allow your business to double its profits. Because let me explain something. If we're looking at this in the sense of like your client journey, right? We can look at these as like the entry points. Let's say these are lead magnets, low ticket offers, right? So like a mini course or a paid community or whatever it is. This is where traffic is coming to first. This is what you're essentially warming up your audience with and how you're collecting their information and whatnot so that they can eventually turn into someone who fits the ideal profile of what your core offer solves. Now, where you are at in this process right now with your current product offering, I'm going to draw this in red because it's wrong. This is where you are focusing all your effort right now. is your one-on-one coaching. This, if we're looking at this in the sense of like a 3-phase system, where this is phase 1, this is phase 2, and this is phase 3, you are doing this backwards, essentially, okay? And this is what keeps coaches bottlenecked, essentially, in their ability to scale. It's what halts their scalability. Because you're focused right now with how you're, 1, attracting clients, 2, where you're pushing them to in the sense of what your products are, and 3, how you're actually working with them is not functional and scalable, right? I talk to so many coaches who do either this part, where probably like yourself, you are doing just one-on-one, pure one-on-one coaching right now, and they're absolutely maxed out with their time and can't take on any more clients. Or if they do, they can take on, 1 to 2, every month new clients once they have room. Right? They know that they probably want to switch their model up to group coaching maybe. Or if you're like a lot of people too, you don't even realize, group coaching is a thing. I can do group coaching, but how do I structure that? Right? What's the process for doing group coaching? Okay, so that's what I want to explain. And in order to actually do that and switch from only focusing on where you're at right now to switching things to be optimized for your core offer, right? There's a few things that we have to do in order for this to even make sense and work in the first place. Because there has to be the proper ascension and flow from each of these phases, okay? There has to be a very simple process that goes from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, and how that is all first automated. And second, and that's what number 3 is here in this $1 million shift. I'm gonna go back to writing out this list. Number 3 is that this core offer has to be productized as much as possible. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that you, as the number one, most attractive piece in this coaching, cannot be the only source of information or resources that these clients are getting, right? So how do we productize this? Well, we call this the 3 C's. 3 C's. And what is this? The first is curriculum. Okay. Now, what is the point of curriculum, right? This isn't some crazy new concept. It's your course material with all of the foundational information that your clients need to go through as the very first point of coming in and working with you in your program. Now, why do we do that? Why do we want them to go through curriculum? It automates all of the teaching and keeps you and prevents you from having to repeat yourself with every single client you work with on the entire process that you're taking them through. So curriculum's first. Second is then the coaching. How we structure this is a very important piece. Once you start getting to a point of actually having a lot of clients, you can then start hiring other coaches to come in and be those specific experts at different subject matters within the principles and the subjects that you are really coaching and teaching on. Okay, so for example, one of our clients was in the finance space at a finance coaching program. They had originally it was just 1 or 2 of them. It was the 2 co-founders as the coaches. Eventually, as they started massively scaling after putting the system in place, they had a team of about 8 coaches. Okay, now how did they actually fulfill and serve these clients, right? The 2 founders were the face of the company. People were coming in to learn from them and be coached from them. Well, first, they went through the curriculum. So they were getting, screen time essentially with them in this private curriculum that they obviously had to pay for. Second, the way that the group coaching worked is that there was a success manager, right? A CSM, a client success manager, who essentially was their one-on-one point of contact, okay? And essentially, they were there to hold their hand through every single step of the journey of the transformation that this program was taking them through, right? So it's not just you're jumping on one-on-one coaching calls and talking to them about whatever it is that they're currently going through. No, there has to be a very, very specific step-by-step criteria and transformation and journey that this program is taking them through. Okay, now back to this. Who were all the coaches that were involved? Well, essentially, the way they did this is that there was, 8 or so different core subjects that each one of these coaches was a subject matter expert on, right? So things like raising money, some things like deal flow and underwriting, right? This was in like the investment space for like private equity and real estate deals, all that stuff. And so they brought on coaches who were experts at all of these different categories, and they would just give them a certain, fee they'd pay them based on how many students they were working with, or they gave them a percentage of revenue of how many clients they're working with, or whatever it is, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can actually structure how you want to pay them. Usually the easiest way is just based on how many clients they're working with. Okay. And keep in mind, they didn't just find these coaches on Indeed or some random job site. A lot of them were actually past clients that had a lot of success that also wanted to be a part of a community to give back, right? And get paid a little bit of money for doing it. So you can find coaches to come in and be a part of your program if they've had really good success and you trust that they can actually give very good advice to your, future clients and current clients that you have in there. So they would coach on different subjects. Now, what was the weekly, cadence of coaching calls? Well, they led each of these coaches once a week would lead a group coaching call based on that subject matter. And the CSM, customer success manager, was there to make sure that the people who needed the help, right, the clients that they were involved with, were showing up to these coaching calls to make sure that they got their questions answered. Okay. Now, once a week, the main founder, would run a big group coaching call for everyone, right? And would just do like general updates on the industry, the market, what's working with some clients that are, being very successful, all of that stuff, right? So the customers that were getting coached still were getting that, FaceTime with the main founders. Okay, I hope that's making sense so far. Now, number 3 of the 3 C's is obviously community. Having a community of your clients in this core offer right here is so important. And let me explain why. 1, your network is your net worth. Everyone knows that. Being a part of a community that everyone is working towards the same goal is super important. Okay. And it's very helpful. And if anything, it just leads to further customer success and customer satisfaction. Now, what happens in these communities, right? Whether it's, school group or a Slack channel or one of these other platforms that everyone uses as well. In most instances where we have built communities for existing clients, what you'll see is that everyone starts to come together. Everyone comes together to help each other out. And people will start asking questions because we drive all of our clients, right? The CSM and the other coaches will get, messages from the current clients asking questions like, hey, how do I do this? Or what do you think about this? Can you help me with this? I have a question here. I have a question there. They direct them, hey, ask this question in the community so that we can make this a discussion, because I guarantee you're not the only one with this question. So please go ask this in the community and I will answer your question in there. Now, here's what happens. Clients will post their question in the community. All of a sudden, a lot of people will start answering that question from the community, not even the coaches. All right, so you're going to be getting answers from other clients who maybe you've already worked through this issue with another client. They will go and respond to that person's question, and that's going to answer a whole bunch of other people's questions without you, as the founder or one of the coaches or the CSM, even having to answer their question in the first place. I'm not saying that you don't have to be involved in the community that you've built for your clients, but this starts to automate your community as well, and your involvement gets less and less and less. Now, what I recommend doing, if someone actually answers the question how you would have answered it, because you've already helped someone else through that problem, and they're answering the question of whoever posted that question in the community, just go respond and say, yep, exactly what John said. I would do X, Y, and Z. And that's it. So to recap, the $1 million shift that you need to make is, number 1, figuring out who your ideal client is and what is the problem that you really help them solve, right? And that's what your core offer becomes. It's that core product that is helping that specific person solve that specific problem in a certain specified amount of time, okay? And the way you have to reposition all of your offerings is around not just one-on-one coaching, not just what's top of funnel lead magnets and free communities, maybe low ticket communities, low ticket products, but you need to have all 3 of these working together because, like I said, it is a flow. The client journey is a flow. And when you have it set up like this, you are going to literally print money in 2 to even 5x your profit in your company with this same exact system. And number 3, productize your service delivery, right? Automate it using these 3 C's, build the curriculum, have the coaching established and systemized, and build the community and encourage engagement inside of the community to where it can get automated and everyone's helping each other out. Everyone wants to see each other win. Okay. And doing this same exact system and implementing the same exact system, we have had clients go from 20 to 50K per month all the way up to 7-figure months. Okay. So this strategy works. It's not that hard. Just start thinking about your coaching business in this sense where you have this ideal flow of what these phases are, because then where the game, kind of starts to come into play is figuring out, okay, what's the ascension process going to be right here, right? From phase 1 to phase 2. And what's the next ascension process going to be if people from our core offer are wanting more one-on-one time with, the founder, with you, right? You need to start positioning yourself as an insanely valuable resource. And if they want one-on-one time with you, it's going to be even way more expensive than what you're currently charging, right? Because this becomes your core offer with your group coaching and all these other resources that can then start to get automated. And when you have it set up like this, you can then go build a sales team around this, right? And your sales and marketing efforts are all going to be aligned and optimized around this core offer. Now, if you want help to actually install a client acquisition system just like this into your business, where all of your systems are aligned from your lead generation to actually closing deals with a sales team and having a CRM that tracks all of your leads, nurtures all of your prospects, and turns them into ready to go buyers in your core offer, I want you to go to the link in the description down below to watch a short video explaining exactly how we can install this system into your business in the next 30 days, 100% done for you. Now, if what we talk about in that video makes sense to you and you are wanting to get something like this installed into your business immediately, we can jump on a quick call where we actually will map this out with you and start going over what the implementation is going to look like to get this set up ASAP. This is literally what we do, and we do this every single day with coaches just like yourself. We build a holistic end-to-end marketing, sales, and client acquisition system so that you can have an automated online coaching business that allows you to remove yourself and get clients on autopilot. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.